This is us now into round 3. So this is actually a rematch from round 1 where SoPugly faced N. So in round 1, SoPugly beat N, and then SoPugly lost to Robert. In round 2, N beat John and eliminated him from the tournament, and now both of these players are on 1 win, 1 loss. The winner is going to go into the finals and play against Robert, who's currently 2-0, and the loser is going to be eliminated from the tournament. So everything is on the line here. We'll see how this goes. We'll see if it's a repeat of what happened in round 1, where SoPugly takes the win, or if N is going to get the victory and make his way back into the finals after losing the first game. Or we'll see if SoPugly gets his rematch against Robert from where he lost in round 2. So okay, SoPugly's going the offensive, he's going aggressive in this one. And there's the 8k and then the 13k column, so this is 2 damage. He's going for it early, and there's a critical trigger as well. That's 3 damage in his opening move. Yeah, it's extremely strong. It's going to be very difficult to come back from. We see that SoPugly does have a perfect guard in his hand there. There's an SP Mechanic, that's very nice. Very sparkly. Again, I have to emphasise that this is near the beginning of Cardfight 0. It's only been out a few days, and that's why there's players that are not using the most optimal builds. They're using incomplete decks until they're all still trying to build up their decks. There's a heal trigger that didn't activate. Excuse me, I'm just sneezing over here on the side. That's only a 17k column, which unfortunately doesn't hit. Again, off of the top deck, SoPugly has decided to raid the Blaster Blade rather than use the effects of the critical, which leaves him, again, more criticals in his deck. That is a strong field. He just decided to... Both players are clearing the entire... or opening the entire field, and he's went into the Soul Savior. But he only has 2 cards in his Soul, so that's going to be difficult to get out. But it does give him the grade 3 in hand, which he was missing. Up until that point, he didn't have the grade 3, which would have been quite bad if he had missed that right trick. I'm getting a bit of hay fever here, a bit of sniffling. What's going on? Okay, this is what N won with last game. So this effect is when it reels a drive trigger, a grade 3, he gets +5. So he becomes quite big very, very quickly if he hits triggers. So imagine you want to get the rear guards, attack the rear guards, and then go Vanguard into the Blaster Blade and see if he can hit a critical, see if he can deal more damage. Oh, he's decided not to. That heal will help a lot, putting him back down to 3 damage. And a draw trigger as well. That will also help an incredible amount. .26 was maybe a little bit overkill to that Blaster Blade there. On the plus side, with N being on 3 damage, it means that if SoPugly hits any heal triggers here, they won't activate. Very nice and rare animation. We've seen the Soul Savior actually ridden the Vanguard. A lot of people call the Soul Savior Dragon to rearguard, because it works on both Vanguard and rearguard in Cardfight 0. He's opted not to play the cannon, he's waiting until he's got the 2 counterblasts so that he can replenish that column. So is he going to go for the Vanguard, or is he going to take out the rearguard here? No, he's decided he's just going to go for the win. He's going to see if he can hit another critical. He does. Again, SoPugly plays 8 critical, so there's a lot of rush involved here. So as you can see here, both players have only used one heal trigger. But at this point, N could do a lot of damage. Decide to keep the card in his hand. Because he's called the grade 3, I'm assuming that's a grade 3 he's got in hand. Because otherwise I imagine he'd have called a grade 2, especially because it could be boosted, and that would also protect him from one attack. That's another heal that was absolutely essential there to hit that. So they're both on the 4 damage now. However, it's going to be SoPugly's turn next. And SoPugly still has a perfect guard in hand. And he's got the grade 2 as well. So imagine he'll be calling that grade 2 and he'll be searching out something to replace that Bark Girl. And make that into a bigger column. But he'll bring out a 7k, and that 10k, its effect is when it attacks, you can counterblast 1 to give it +3, so it can go to a 20k. Oh no, he's decided not to. I was going to say, so even if he does hit the trigger. Okay, well we know that N doesn't have any perfect guards, so this is going to be 2 damage. And a heal trigger as well. So he does have 2 heals. So if he does hit these 2 heals from his 18 card deck, then he will survive this turn and he would probably win the following turn. There's the first heal. Oh my goodness. Oh, unfortunately not. I think he would have absolutely won that next turn, because the 10k would have attacked the 9k grade 2, the first rear guard would have attacked the vanguard, which would have got rid of the perfect guard, and then the vanguard would have attacked the vanguard, which presumably would have been game unless he hit a heal. So that is unfortunate for N, but it means that SoPugly goes into the finals and he'll be against Robert.